Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes. This is your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is September 22nd, 2020, and this is episode number 95. Today we're going to look at two comics. Actually, it's the same series, but this is Engine Ward number 2 and Engine Ward number 3. Now, I've already done a review of Engine Ward number 1, and I loved it. Here's what we got on this one. You see, had a lot of action in it. We had a male hero taking on this dragon centipede type beast. It was good. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It seemed to be sharing the spotlight between a male and female, and perhaps a budding romance on the way. Now, unfortunately, while the story has stayed fairly interesting, things have kind of slowed down and things have gotten more woke. So we were like maybe on a temple woke scale of 2 after the first issue. Now I'm going to ramp that up to a temple woke scale of 8. And the reason being is what we found out is the Engine Ward, of course, the titular character is Josh, and she's a female. And also the leader of the Celestials, who goes by Virgo. They're all kind of zodiac names. She is the leader. She's a female. Her main counterpoint, or within the Celestials, Leo is a female, and also the Gemini twins are both appear to be females. Plus, on top of that, there was another character that's just kind of mentioned in this side narration that had come to this planet, this wasteland of a planet, with a special seed to reinvigorate, or I guess just jumpstart this wasteland and make it come a plush planet to live on. Right now, they're suffering a lot of water shortages. The people are desperate need. However, the Celestials, who are, I guess, human with some bionic developments on them, or improvements, is running the whole planet, and they're taking whatever they want, and they're trying to pound themselves off as gods. Now, what has happened is in the first issue, they recover a golem's head. It's kind of like a robot, and the Engine Ward Josh has gotten it to work. And this is the head that she has got it to work. In the meantime, our hero, who we thought was going to be the hero, Ichabod, he's coming down with something. He's getting sick. So that's going to be his main story, I think, over the next couple issues, is he's kind of, even though he's the muscle, he's going to become useless, I believe, as he gets sicker as it go along within the expedition. Now, Josh has formed an expedition to go back out to the wasteland and try to find this seed that apparently this robot head has told them about. All in all, that part is very interesting. Not a lot happens action-wise, though. We get at the first panel, we get a little bit of a chase scene, and you can see this character, I believe he's supposed to be African-American, and he's scared, of course, male scared. African American, but his cousin, who's also African American, is actually like the tough woman. And let's see, you can see her here, you can see her here, and she's afraid of nothing. And she went on the first expedition out that involved the death of one of their party members. Now they're going back out because Josh just wants to find this seed. And we get to take a look at Leo. She's one of the leaders of the Celestials. And in the background is the Geminis, and they're kind of catty. And the males in this are pretty much turning out to be very subservient, or jerkish, or wrong, or ignorant, just on and on. So, not loving that portion of it. As I was really liking this character Ichabod. Now he's sick. And in the third issue, they actually start their make their way out to the wasteland as the Celestial Council meets and say, "Hey, someone has activated one of the uh, golems that we thought they were all destroyed, and there's giving them some information perhaps." And they've track it down to Josh, and they go to investigate, but Josh has already left to go out into the desert, the wastelands, to look for this seed, into the most dangerous part. They talk about another group called the Shades. I don't know if it's some kind of monsters or something, but they come up against another tribe towards the end of this, and that's kind of the cliffhanger here. We don't know what's going to happen, but like I said, there's not a lot of action. There's that one little chase scene, and there's a punch thrown by Ichabod to a guy that's kind of insulting them, because everybody in the town seems to think Josh and Ichabod have hooked up, and that they're sexing it up and everything, where it seems like they both have feelings towards each other. Neither one has expressed it as so much to one another, so that's still kind of an underlying theme. But right now they're making it to be that sounds like the engine ward is going to become more powerful as she discovers more things along the way here. Like I said, it's pretty woke now. It wasn't as so much. I'm going to stay on the comic and see what happens, because it is a pretty decent story. Just the character development has taken a turn for the worse, I believe, and there's no real balance any longer. One of the other things that kind of bothered me in this too, and whenever they whisper, they make the text really dinky. So it ends up looking like a footnote, and this happened a few times in here. Excuse me. I'm going to find another place in here. See, like here and here. It looks like, it almost looks like footnotes, and I think when you do whisper, I think you're supposed to do like a broken line around the bubble to indicate that it's not full sound. But so that kind of bothered me a little bit. I had to get out the magnifying glass and read that. Here's a whole arc of it here. Otherwise, I think the art is fairly capable. As you can see, it looks lovely. Leo's coming off as kind of Tina Turner in the Queen of Bartertown, or the Mayor of Bartertown, whatever that was from one of the Mad Max movies. So she looks real good there. As you can see, they're drawn pretty nicely. Everything's drawn very nicely. Still a little bit of the Dutch angles going on. Maybe not in the most necessary places, so to speak. So there's some creatures like this one's Aquarius. She's water-like, and you can see when she speaks, her thing's kind of wavy and like bubbly. So I thought that was kind of cool. But all in all, I'm going to stick with it. I'm not as high on as I was after the first issue, which looked like it was going to be a real swashbuckling outer space tale. But we're getting more of a female centric story now. And a lot of the stories now, to be honest with you, that I've been reading have been female oriented. And that's just kind of the trend now. A lot of the new stuff that's coming out. And that's what I'm trying to do, is break new stuff. However, I do find, this is well written. There is that profanity that kind of makes it more teenager-y like instead of adult-like. It just kind of offsetting, because I think they've got a real good narrative going on, and I think the writer, let's see if I can figure out who that is. George Mann, I think he's a fairly good writer, story-wise, but it just, leaving the profanity out, there's nothing here. I don't think it helps it having it in here. I think it kind of hurts it. It hurts all the characters. Because this guy, Ichabod, to me, is kind of like a Han Solo character. And Han Solo never reverted to profanity in any way. And he's super popular. He doesn't need it. So hopefully maybe that part will get a little more tendered down. I don't know. We'll find out. But I appreciate you guys stopping by to take a look at issues 2 and 3 of Engine Ward by George Mann. And the art was by Joe Eisma, I believe that's said. And like I said, the storyline is pretty interesting. Just wish it was a little bit more balanced because there is enough other people in this to balance it. But right now it is becoming very female centric, unfortunately. For this, I think it hurts the story a little bit, honestly. Everybody that's going to be, except they do have a villain that's a female, so I'll give them that. Even though it's a white female, they do have one that's a female. But there are also some men in that group as well that I think will become villainous as part of the Celestials that are in there. And so that's what we got today. So thanks for stopping by. Please like, please subscribe, please leave comments. Tell me if you're reading this, if you like it. I actually thought this had just come out, but I guess Engine Ward #1 that I bought is a second printing. And so when I got to the shop today, they had 3 on the shelf. And I said, well, what happened to 2? And he says, oh, I missed that one. It came out already and was in back stock. So I was able to get that, and that's why I'm presenting both today, so we're all caught up on it. So thanks for stopping by the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones, as always, bidding you adieu. Good night. Good day.